Alright guys, it's Jesse with Vehicle Response Training. We're doing the second episode on Camanche Fire, Camanche, Iowa. We're going to go down to their backup garage, or their secondary unit that has a lot of their tending equipment for when they're out in the rural parts. So stand by here for a sec. Alright, we're back. We're down the road. So what we're doing, the purpose of this is to have two different buildings because there's a main CP line that runs through town here, and their thought was that if they have a derailment in the middle of town, that they would have all their equipment stuck on one side of the railroad tracks. So the thought was that they could put some equipment on the other half of, you'll see the railroad, you'll see the other fire station is about, I don't know, a quarter mile up the road, and just right here is a set of railroad tracks. So they were concerned that if they had an incident, they would have all their equipment stuck on one side of the tracks. If they had an incident on the other, they wouldn't have any equipment and they couldn't get it around. It would take a long time to drive a couple miles out of town. So they had another rig. Now they attached the community center to that as well. So they are kind of a multi-purpose unit, but they got a bunch of cool equipment in here. They're running a utility truck, like a crash rig or a brush rig, F550. I'm gonna switch you guys around. They got it upfitted with a Ramsey 12,000 pound winch. A little darker color on this one, but they got the XLT, so it's got the stripped down interior on it, but it's got the rubber floors, a lot of radios, kind of the basic stuff in here. But they have a couple hose reels on the back of this. They got a pump. They got a bunch of hose line on the top of this. They got a couple 100-gallon tank in the back of this. Nice little setup. They do have quite a bit of water. We are right on the Mississippi River, and it's a very busy section of the river as well. They got another brush rig. This is kind of cool. They put some nozzles in the bumpers, like bumper line nozzles, spray nozzles. And I'm guessing this is one of my favorite body styles. This is probably like a 2002. 2002, look at that. I guessed it perfect. A 3/4 ton HD. So they got a couple 100-gallon tank in this, just with a one reel with a little pump. But this is kind of their light duty brush rig. They can kind of get around into the places a little bit deeper in the woods. When they can't get in with this, they'll run the ATV, the Ranger here, with a 85-gallon tank in the back of that, with a couple reels, so they can get some smaller fires out with this thing. But it's more about personnel, getting personnel on this site. A couple of flat bottom boats. They're actually transporting a boat on a boat here. It's really kind of a neat setup. You don't see this very often. But they have a lot of service area on the river here, so they get to go play on the river quite a bit. American LaFrance, they do have an engine on this side of town that's loaded up very similar to the other ones, but this is an American LaFrance instead of a Spartan. So this is, I'm guessing, 2000s. So this is engine 26, and they're running very nice setup though. This appears to be a 2001, so it maybe went into service 01 or 02. Pump panel on the side here, a couple hose cross lays on this. The ROM doors, very similar appearing trucks, even though this one's a little bit older and it's a different brand. But, you know, they got to service the other side of the railroad tracks. This is what they got. So if they have an incident, they have personnel on both sides of the tracks, and then they also have the equipment. So they had brush 28, they have engine 26, and then they have 3 different boats here and an ATV. They don't have a number on this one, so pretty cool. Nice little setup they got. Very nice. So anyway, 2 of Camanche, Iowa. Also, I forgot to show you, were Silverado, their support utility 36 too. So nice little runabout truck. But that's their support equipment for this side of the track. So anyway, bye. Checking out.